This is an overview of the Bells of Steel Arch Nemesis Tricep Bar. I'm Kayvon, founder of Bells of Steel. Let's get into it. So why we made this bar is basically it's a smaller version of our extremely popular Arch Nemesis bar, which I'll be doing a bit of a comparison to later. And what it is and why you'd want it is basically a multifunctional tricep bar, hammer curl bar, landmine attachment, and cable attachment. And so why that's important for you is, well, one, you get like a whole bunch of different exercise variety in one little piece. And then two, things like hammer curls and skull crushers and lat pull downs and landmine rows. These are like core things, core exercises you can do, to really like strengthen and build out your back. And like hammer curls, I used to be a hammer curl fanatic, and they're such a great exercise for developing like that forearm thickness and strength, and the great bicep one as well. I really like them now too because I find hammer curls I tore my bicep a number of years ago, and having that neutral grip doesn't irritate it as much. So maybe if you do have some like bicep irritation, be a lot more comfortable for you doing like a hammer curl. And of course you can do hammer curls with dumbbells, but a hammer curl bar or a tricep like skull crusher is a really nice option. And then what this does really well is it keeps the cost down really good. So we're currently selling like a regular tricep bar. I could do a bit of a comparison later that's quite expensive because it's made out of like actual, like a barbell shaft and knurling and spinning sleeves and like a real barbell. And so that adds a lot of cost. And so by using like this same kind of manufacturing style of our Arch Nemesis bar, we're able to get the cost greatly down than our existing tricep bar and hammer curl bar. Just to go over the actual manufacturing of it and the design. So there's two different types of grips. So you got your wide grip, which is on a bit of an angle, and your narrow grip, which is just straight up and down. And the reason we chose the angle is we just did a bunch of testing internally, and people just preferred an angle on the wide and a straight up and down on the front. And the straight up and down too plays into the cable attachments as well, which I'll talk about in a second. And the handles are fully knurled, and they're more aggressive on a knurl. Used to be really hard to get a good knurl on a handle on this is like a tubing, right? This is a tubing handle. It's like a standard kind of pipe you can buy. It's not like an actual barbell. It's hollow, and so it used to be really hard to get knurling on it. But thanks to some advances and our like relentless harassing about improving the knurling, we've got our knurling really upgraded on these. And why you'd kind of use the two grips, honestly, just like variety, whether it's cables or bicep curls or hammer curls. And then it's got this cable connector right here. And so what this does, it allows you to connect it to any cable machine and do, different varieties of lat pull downs, seated rows, bent over rows, things like that. A whole bunch of different cable exercises, which I'll demo. And then it's got this hole in the middle here. And the hole is for running your barbell sleeve through and doing like landmine rows and different landmine work, which I'll also be demoing. And one thing kind of unique to Bells of Steel, I don't think a lot of companies are doing this yet, but all of our, like I mentioned, this is a tubing product. It's not a barbell product. And tubing used to be that you could only get it in, I think it was 47 millimeter standard size, and that's still, a lot of the industry are still using that because they haven't clued in that a new size of stock pipe has come out, which is 49.7 millimeters. What does that mean for you? Well, that means you don't have to buy specialty collars. They're called axle collars, and we sell them too, even though we don't really have any axle thickness products anymore. So these just fit your standard collars, right? I'd advise a mag collar on them because it is a shorter sleeve, and you're not going to, you're probably not going to be doing 300 pounds on this thing, but mag collars are nice. I mean, they're our best-selling collars, and a little bit thinner profile. But yeah, any 2-inch barbell collars will work on this. And yes, that 2-inch Bells of Steel doesn't do any old school 1-inch plates. They're kind of starting to get phased out a little bit. You can still get 1-inch plates, but we don't sell them. So yeah, that's an overview of what it looks like itself. So I'm gonna rip through some demo exercises that you can do with the Arch Nemesis tricep bar. So first off, some wide grip hammer curls. And one of the things that we had to make sure of in the design development, it took a few iterations, is making sure that there was enough clearance between using a bumper and your elbows and your shoulders. So that took a few iterations. Oh, look at that, snap, crackle, pop. And of course you could do things like, you know, close grip press and stuff. The bar isn't rackable, which I'll mention in the comparison video. But yeah, they're just some kind of like the main barbell exercise you would do with it. And now I'll get into the cables and landmines. Here's some landmine exercise you can do on it. So same thing, you just got a few different grips. I'm going to show you a few cable movements you can do with it. You don't need a lat pull down machine. It'll work on, you know, basically any cable machine or cable towers, anything like that. But just for demonstration's sake, I'll do it on here. And yeah, one of the things I think of first is like how it can replace the double D handle. So a little bit wider, but that's one of our most popular attachments. So put it up for lat pull down. I will mention it is a very light bar. Which is another nice thing about using that tubing and steel plate. So it is about 15.5 pounds or about 7 kg. And pretty easy to load onto there. So I'm gonna do a comparison between the Arch Nemesis bar and the Arch Nemesis tricep bar. So as you can clearly see, the Arch Nemesis tricep bar is not rackable, which is, you know, a bit of a huge reason to buy or not to buy. So another big difference is the landmine capability on the Arch Nemesis tricep bar. So the Arch Nemesis doesn't have that, partially because it's too big and partially because I didn't start designing these kind of landmine holes until recently, like with our double D fat grip handle, or our rocket strap is another one that work that into. And yeah, so it's a lot shorter, not rackable, and of course, one less handle option as well. So there's only 2 handle options on this. And the handles on the Arch Nemesis are all in a similar, slightly angled pattern out or in, depending on your orientation of benching. Whereas on the Arch Nemesis tricep bar, it's closer to like an actual hammer curl bar, with a close grip on this one, straight up and down, and a bit of an angle on these ones. So which one should you buy? I would buy the Arch Nemesis tricep bar if your main use of it is going to be a cable attachment, a landmine attachment, and for doing you know, hammer curls and skull crushes. And while you can do, you know, close grip bench press and even overhead press with it, you're not able to rack it. So you're gonna be limited on the amount of weight you can use and safety precautions too, right? Go with the Arch Nemesis, the full one, if you're looking for like a dedicated specialty curved bench press bar. That's its primary function by far. And you know, secondary does have the cable attachment on it, but it is quite heavy. It's quite wide too, so like if you have space restrictions, that's another knock against it as well. But like a dedicated, like personally, all I bench with these days, I rarely bench straight bar anymore because I'm old and my shoulders are banged up from playing rugby for a long time. So this is like my go-to bench bar. Don't really use a straight bar too much anymore. So yeah, if you're looking for that like that curve and that neutral grip and that ease on your shoulders, this is the way to go. And this is more in line with like an accessory or an attachment. So I hope you enjoyed this overview of the Arch Nemesis tricep bar. If you want to buy one for yourself, click the link in the description below and let the games begin. I'm Kayvon, founder of Bells of Steel. I hope you loved that video. And if you want to check out any more of our products or follow us on social media, click the links below in the description and let the games begin.